All right, hi everybody. Good morning and happy Friday. Rush Counterparts was released on October 19th, 1993. Counterparts is the 15th studio album from Rush. It's stage 4. It's release number 3 in stage 4 after Presto, which is 1989, and Roll the Bones 1991. Produced by Rush and Peter Collins. Wow, look who's back, Peter Collins, just what the doctor ordered. He also co-produced Power Windows and Hold Your Fire. Well, this is certainly an improvement in production for Collins, and this record sounds very straight. Lack of echo, reverb, or chorus on any of the guitars. It's just a very straightforward production, and the album is better off for that. Okay. Also, arrivederci to the keyboards and synths. They're all gone, except for the one thing I picked up during the re-listen, which was subtle, but there. And also, there might be some other keyboards that I don't notice because it's so low in the mix or other. But for the most part, you can't even tell that there are keyboards or synths. They're gonzo. They've been de-emphasized. Also, remember the days of Alex Lifeson's 40-plus bar guitar solos? Well, that shit's gone too. And although there is one longer jam in here on this record, but that's the exception and no longer the norm. We're back to bare bones Rush in the style of Rush and Fly By Night. Only that the songs are better, tighter, and more mature here, and more focused on the intellectual content and themes. Neil Peart's maturity as a lyricist really shines on this album compared to something like Fly By Night. I mean, he's really developed and grown. And he should have. It's 1993, right? This is the Blue Album. It's a concept album about opposites or dualities or whatnot. And on the cover here, you got the screw and the nut. So those are opposites. They go together, but they're... Okay, so that's the sort of thing. This is an Atlantic Records Rush the Remasters. See where it says that here? I've had this for about, I'm going to guess 10 or 15 years. I actually don't know when I bought it. I probably bought it on Amazon, and I'd have to go back. You know how you can search it, your past orders, but I've had this for a while. I listened to it a lot when I bought it based on the recommendation of internet user 8-Foot Guy, who's my all-time authority on Rush. He's a good friend. Let's take a look at what's in here. But I like the Rush the remasters the best. You got this triangle Pac-Man thing going on here. I don't know what this is here. It's like a Star of David. You got little Pac-Man symbols on here. And then when you flip this open, it's sort of you got all these pictures. It reminds me of Yes, the Ladder. Do you guys like Yes, the Ladder? It's one of my favorite Yes albums, actually. But it's got the same kind of it's got all these pictures here, like drawings, and then on the inside is the lyrics. And you know, there's like in these pictures, there's like a lot of Rush themes. Like there's a rabbit right here, and you know, you got the yin and the yang, and you got some boobs and some other stuff. And let me see. I always forget to look now, but is this a Hugh Sim? It's got to be a Hugh Sim, right? There's so much information in here. I'll check later, but I'm guessing it's a Hugh Sim. He does everything for Rush, and so I've just come to expect that. You know. What else? On the back, you got the typical Rush. You got the songs with the times, track number, song, time, and then you got the same triangle Star of David type thing with the Pac-Mans. I don't know what the Pac-Mans are for, but I'm sure there's some meaning behind that. Also on the back, I noticed it says right here, do you see this in white? It says digitally remastered from the master tapes. That's a pretty interesting statement to me. So 93... I mean, 93, they've been pumping out CDs for a while, so what that says to me is they're still recording these on digital tape. But I wonder how I don't know if tape is digital, but they're still using tape I know Yes Talk came out in '94, and that one they made a big deal about how they recorded it on, I think, Pro Tools on Max in Trevor Rabin's studio. So but I haven't heard the original, but the remaster definitely sounds great. Okay. Um, and also from the very first opening lick on this album, it's fast and relentless all the way through to the end. There's nothing that sounds that there's no other music that sounds like Rush. Okay, they're unique and distinct. The closest I can come up with is Porcupine Tree. There's songs like No Way Out of Here, and there's some songs on Deadwing that are sort of Rush like, but nothing's like Rush really. Rush is awesome, and this album's unique for Rush, and it's pretty good. All right, the first track is Animate, 6 minutes and 4 seconds, and it starts out with the you know what I mean? The very first thing you hear after there's like a 10 seconds of silence or something. It's a fast intro and then right into the chorus about 30 seconds in. The chorus is 16 bars, which is standard Rush. The verse is 18 bars, which is not standard. But it's 18 bars the first time, and the second time it's 16 bars. Okay. And then the break is 8 bars, and the bridge is 32 bars, and no guitar solo. It's in the key of D minor. It's a fast tempo, 116 beats per minute. It's a perfect album opener, and it's a popular one for Rush and Rush fans, and they played it on different tours. I think it's on the Rush 30. I've been watching a lot of Rush 30 on the internet. And okay, from Genius, according to Neil Peart, the song talks about the Jungian concept of animus or double. The animus talks about how each man has a deep feminine side and each woman has a deep masculine side. This song, along with the album itself, discusses how opposites in a way make us all whole. Okay, so it's the whole opposites thing, just like the album cover. So that's the whole concept of the record. It's a good groove, a great song. It's a concert favorite. Go Rush. It's a intro, chorus, verse, instrumental break, bridge, chorus, out. And I think what's unique about this album in general is the different time. And I'm going to talk about, as I always do, the lengths of the choruses and the verses. It's surprising. It's like a little bit jarring on this album, and I think that's what makes it for a really good album. Okay. Track 2 is Stick It Out, 4 minutes and 30 seconds. It's in the key of C major. That's the that's how it starts. And based on the Genius explanation from Neil Peart, Stick It Out is exactly what you think it means. And guys, okay. And Spit It Out is just him changing. It's just him playing with the words, changing the words. I mean, gross, but good song though. Anyway, it's the intro is 18 seconds, and then it goes into the verse. I didn't capture the verse bars. I don't know. I must have had a brain fart there. The chorus is 8 bars. Okay, so it's like a fast chorus, and then there's a post chorus, and then a bridge of 16 bars, and then the guitar solo is 8 bars plus 8 bars of instrumental in the main verse. It's the main verse music coming back, the guitar solo and the instrumental. And it's a verse, chorus, post chorus, bridge, verse, chorus, post chorus, and an outro. And it's like I said, the change, like the shorter choruses and the post choruses and the pre choruses, they're always all a little bit different. And that it's like kind of sudden when it comes on, so it makes for a fun record. Cut to the Chase is the third track. It's 4 minutes and 48 seconds. It's in the key of E major. By the way, a lot of these I wasn't able to substantiate or research through the sheet music. The sheet music to some of these newer Rush albums aren't so readily available online. And I only trust, like, when I go to Hal Leonard, I can trust that. Because they're reputable. But other ones that I find online, I don't know if I trust them or if they've been made in a simpler key just to make it easier to play. But E major is a different, that's a different key for Rush. And so you get a little different sound. Okay. Anyway, arpeggiated intro by, arpeggiated guitars by Alex Lifeson with Geddy Lee singing the verse immediately. Like right out of the gate, they're singing the verse. And the song structure that I was given, or that I looked at on, that was a waste of time, so I ended up having to figure it out on my own. So here's what I came up with. The first verse is 8 bars, and then there's a pre-chorus of 4 bars, which is like surprising. And then a chorus of 14-ish bars-ish, that's what I counted. A 16-bar second verse. And then a 12-bar guitar solo. So like they're really playing with the structure and how these songs flow together, and how the sections flow in and out. 3 bridge 16. I don't know what I meant by that. I know there's 2. Oh yeah, there's a bridge. There's a bridge at the end. Okay, so from Genius, Neil Peart, who is speaking on the Counterparts World Radio premiere. It's just a play on words. What the hell did I cut? Just never mind. I cut and pasted the wrong thing here. Just skip it. Cut to the chase. It's a verse, pre-chorus, verse, pre with a chorus, and then a solo, and then a bridge, and then an outro. And I cut and pasted the wrong part into my notes, but that's okay. Cut to the Chase is it's the 3rd cool song right in a row on the album. Okay, the album's off to a great start, and if you can't tell, I'm a fan of this album. Let's just pause for a second here. Let's just take inventory. Where's Cut to the Chase? Oh yeah, it's the fire that lights itself, but it burns with a restless flame. The arrow of a moving target. The archer must be sure of his aim. The archer, it's also Taylor Swift sings about the archer. It's the engine that drives itself, but it chooses the uphill climb, a bearing on magnetic north, growing further all the time. Can't stop moving. Okay, I got the song in my head now. But cool song. And let's go to track 4. Nobody's Hero. Okay, 4 minutes and 55 seconds, Nobody's Hero. And it's got, I wasn't sure at first when I listened to it back if it's strings or mellotron. But Wikipedia says it's Michael Kamen from Pink Floyd fame who conducted the orchestra. Key of F major, and we'll say it's not a mellotron, it's strings. It's a verse of 8 bars, and again a pre-chorus of 4 bars, and then an unusual chorus of 17 bars. A guitar solo of 8 bars only, and it's like a banger, banger, banger. I mean, Alex is really holding on to these notes. Genius says the first verse this is from Neil Peart. And from Genius. The first verse talks of a good friend of Peart's named Ellis who died from AIDS. Ellis also happened to be gay, which is mentioned in the song. Okay. The second verse deals with the death of a girl from Peart's hometown. Okay, it is an emotionally charged song, and that's a good song. And it was played on a bunch of tours, including the Test for Echo tour, which I went to, and I think it's on Vapor Trails too. It's played on a bunch of tours. I think it was even on Rush 40. It's a different song for Rush. And to me, when you listen to what it sounds like a prelude to Snakes and Arrows, which is going to be a bunch of years later, like 2008-ish, 2007-ish. But I love the strings, and you know, it's got that big grandiose feeling to it. It's a good song. It's not one of their best songs, but it's a good song. And Neil's not afraid to venture into political type content these days. excuse me, it's a verse pre-chorus with a chorus, a verse pre-chorus with a chorus, the guitar solo that I mentioned, and then another pre-chorus, chorus, and an outro. Okay, track 5 is Between Sun and the Moon, 4 minutes and 37 seconds. It's in the key of G major. I wrote down no guitar solo. From internet user 8-Foot Guy again. Between Sun and Moon is totally underrated, and that you're surprised that it didn't end up as a top 40 hit in the pop charts. I mean, I can see why he thinks that. It does have a poppy flair to it. And again, the verses and it's an unusual. The verse is 10 bars and the chorus is 16 bars. So the verse kind of abruptly ends and then goes into the chorus when you expect it to keep going. There's also a little 4-bar groove going somewhere after the verse, but before the bridge. The bridge instrumental is 22 bars. That's the one. That's a pretty long bridge for Rush before the 4th verse. And it's mainly a simple song of verse and choruses, but you got that 22-bar instrumental thrown in there. So it's a verse, verse, chorus, verse, verse, instrumental bridge, and then a chorus, verse, verse, chorus, and that's the song. And he's singing about the sun and the moon in the first verse. It's a good song. Track 6 is Alien Shore, 5 minutes 47 seconds. It's got an intro of 12 bars, a verse of 32 bars. So I counted that out, and I was reading the lyrics that are in here. So I think it's actually 2 verses instead of 1 verse of 32 bars. I think it's a verse of 16 and a second verse of 16, like wedged right onto it. And then the chorus is 16 bars. And then the second verse is 16 bars. And then there's a chorus of 16 bars plus. It's 24 total bars in the other chorus, but it's a quick time change in there. It's actually hard to count. I think it's about 24 bars. Instrumental break, solo, jam, good groove of about 28 bars in the middle of it. Okay, so that's another song where there's an extended, like, let's give Alex an opportunity to go. It's in the key of D major, which is popular for Rush. I know Geddy likes to sing in that key, but their keys are kind of changing over the years now. They like to mix it up more. Genius Analyst says that Pert when he writes about sex, he's speaking about gender roles, not about the act of sex. Okay, so I always thought the song was about, sex, but it's not. In my own defense, I'll say, like, when I've listened to this album, I almost always was driving. In fact, when I first got this album, it lived in my first truck was a Chevy Silverado. It lived in that. It lived in the console. Like, it was just in there for like 5 or 10 years. That's when I listened to it. Okay, it's a verse, verse, chorus, that longer jam, and then a verse, chorus, outro. That's the song. And, The Alien Shore. By the way, Geddy's he's singing on this album. He's not screaming at all. It's kind of a thing going on now since it's been a while since Signals, I would say. Maybe even before that. The Speed of Love is the 7th track, 5:02. Lyrically, I don't need to break the song down. It is what it is. It's a love song. It's in F major. It has a... So I was able to find the sheet music to this. It's got a B flat in it. So this is one where I disagreed with what the internet told me. It's in F major, okay? Don't ever just Google and rely on that. Go look. Go look. It's a verse of 14 bars, or 14, 16, somewhere in there. It's a chorus of 9 bars. Chorus 2 is 16 bars. And then there's a 8-bar guitar solo plus an 8-bar, like a bass. I wouldn't say it's a bass solo, but it's definitely Geddy up front thumping around on the bass. And it's a bridge of 20 bars. Speed of Love is a verse, chorus 2, solo, bridge, chorus, outro. Pretty simple song structure for Rush. Track 8 is Double Agent at 4 minutes 52 seconds. This song really sounds different for Rush. So is The Speed of Love too, but not many Rush love songs in the catalog. But this one, Double Agent, it sounds like it doesn't even sound like Rush really. It sounds like somebody else. The choice between darkness and light is what he's singing about. Is it about good and evil? You know, this is the whole opposites theme of the album. Good and evil. The choice between darkness and light, good and evil. Dennis Rodman in North Korea. Is Dennis Rodman the double agent he's singing about? I mean, I know this is before the whole Dennis Rodman thing, but chorus 1 is 16 bars. The verse seems to be switching between 3/4 time and something else. Maybe it's like 7/4 time or 7/8, or maybe it's like jumping from 3/4 to 4/4 or 3/4 to 2, whatever. I don't know, and I can't find the music, so you'll have to ask a real musician on this one. It's in the key of D minor. It's a chorus 1, verse, chorus 2, chorus 1, verse, chorus 2, chorus 1, chorus 2, verse. And that's the song. And in the verse, you know, Geddy's voice is like, it's like disguised, and he's almost talking. The choice between dark and light, you know, he's kind of talking like that. Track 9 is the instrumental, Leave That Thing Alone. It's 4 minutes and 5 seconds. It's not too much different from Where's My Thing, Part 4, Gangsters of Boats trilogy. The best part of this song is the bass line for Leave That Thing Alone. It's like a Jamaican groove, or reggae, I guess, I don't know. Alex is hammering away at chords and then playing this big meaty riff in the middle of it. I can hear this is the song where I can really hear a tiny bit of keyboard in the middle of the song. It's like augmenting the music. It's like kind of, it's not on top, it's kind of like underneath. So it's like filler, like augmenting. Like Where's My Thing, this song could be intro or outro music in between TV commercials or a sporting event or something like that. That's kind of what I kind of like it. I think it was nominated for a Grammy too. Track 10 is Cold Fire, 4 minutes 27 seconds, written in the I and She narrative, a la David Gilmour, Polly Samson of the newer Pink Floyd albums. He's singing them. It's okay. It's a verse of 16 bars. This one's more traditional. 16 bars, 8 bars, 16 bars, 16 bars, 8 bars. It's pretty standard. It's a cool song. You know, it's another good rhythm groove like most of the album. It's just like it's a relationship song. It's Gilmour-ish, you know. It's a verse, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, or the chorus 2, and then a solo and a pre-chorus 3, and then an outro. That's the song. And then you've got Everyday Glory, 5 minutes and 11 seconds, the final song. It's a great ending to the album. It's a song about domestic abuse or family problems. Neil doesn't mind going there these days, right? He's going to go for more controversial stuff. No matter what they say. No matter what they say. Rise from the Ashes. It's Everyday Glory has a nice, peaceful melody. Seems like he's trying to find the optimistic side of a terrible situation, and that's what the lyrics are about. And no guitar solo. It's a verse of 16 bars, 8-bar bridge. This is pretty standard Rush. Pre-chorus, 8 bars. Pre-chorus and chorus. I guess I didn't count out the chorus. The pre-chorus is 8 bars, the chorus is 14 bars. So that's a little, you know, that's one of those jarring Rush things that they did on this album. And then a 16-bar bridge. It's a verse, bridge, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge again, and then an outro. And the outro is the no matter what they say, rise from the ashes. That's the song. That's the last song on the album. Okay, let's summarize. Stage, by the way, before I summarize, the disc, look at how cool that is. They put there's the nut and there's the bolt right on the disc, and it's black. And I appreciate the attention to detail. And I believe this is a Hugh Sim, and it probably is, but I'll check and look it up later. Okay, anyway, let's summarize. Stage 4 is the most different stage for Rush, and this album is a great example of that. And more like Stage 4 is more like early Stage 1, but it's much better, improved album than the Stage 1 albums. It's deeper, the content's deeper. The proggarchives.com gives us a 3.75. That seems kind of low. It's you know, when you consider like the highest albums are like 4.2, 4.3. But 4 is what they call prog essential. I mean, this 5 is like the best, right? 4 is essential. It's an essential. And then 3 is, you know, it's good. This should be a 4. Okay. Is it prog? It's proggy, but it's, you know, it's proggy. It's Rush. This CD Counterparts doesn't crack my top 4 Rush, but it's close. And it's also better than some very terrific Rush albums. Okay, we'll leave it at that. Now, another thing. Sorry about the goofs, gaffes, mistakes, the senior moments that plague these videos. It's me. You know, I own it. I have a full-time job, and it's an intense job. And I have a family that all that takes up most of my time. I'm not a professional broadcaster or a musician, but I know these albums, and these are my albums. I claim possession of these albums. No, come on, we love these albums. I do this because it's fun for me to dig in on the songs and the material and the artists and the structure, the themes, the sounds, the production, all that stuff. That's fun for me. And I don't claim to be an expert, so if I make a goof in the middle of a video, sorry, I just press on and keep recording, and I don't worry about it. I do very little editing to these videos. If I ever get to the part where I'm editing them, that means that the channel's taken off or something, and I'm working on this full time, but that's it. Sorry about all that. What we're gonna do next, I gotta mix it up, so I'm getting like a little monotonous on the Rush, and so I think I'm gonna do like a Kiss Alive next, and then I'm gonna get back to Test for Echo. That'll be next week, and then after that, I want to do a review of the Pink Floyd Ummagumma Live album. That's my intention. I might do a comparison of Ummagumma Live to, say, like Live at Pompeii, the DVD or the video. I'll do something like that. I want to do something about the early Pink Floyd live stuff, okay? And I'm going to start weaving in other reviews in between Rush reviews. Okay, but I still want to finish the Rush thread. I'm going to finish, and I'm hoping I get done by July. It's just going to be close. I plan to go, after that, like when I'm done with Rush and all this, I plan to go through all my favorite albums starting in the early 60s, and I'm just going to run through them in chronological order. And, you know, you're going to get a weird mix at the beginning, but then it'll start to get much more variation and deviation. And also, I got the new Yes album. I like the new Yes album a lot. It's called Mirror to the Sky, if you haven't heard it. I haven't really thought about where it fits in the rankings, but I listened to it a bunch of times last weekend, and I like it. It's good. It's about as good as that version of Yes can do. All right, let's wrap this up. You know, Coach Plow guy out.